All right, everybody, welcome back to the Golf Podcast. This is episode number 205. We've got a great interview. I am psyched to talk to Ryan Ruston. You know him as Coach Rusty on Instagram. Killer trick shots, some really exciting stuff that he's been putting out there over the last couple of years. We got a chance to bump into him at the PGA show, and then just like it was a real quick thing, be like, let's do this. We got to get you on the podcast, and here we are. So we're gonna bring him on in a second. Before we do, Mike, I mean, what's new? We've got a lot of stuff on the fire here. We're rolling into Bay Hill in almost no time.
I know. I'm excited. I started my prep. I just told you before, I've been booking the simulator. I've been actually hitting balls outside. It just feels good. Stay loose, striking the ball. I got to tell you, my game is in horrendous shape. I mean, I went to the range on Saturday and they had this early bird special. Get this, $7 for a small bucket, but the small bucket is 108 golf balls.
Yeah, because it was also 23 degrees.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was actually it was worse than that. But my hands were numb. But here's the thing. I was terrible. I mean, I think, and I'm not exaggerating this, I probably connected 8 or 9 times out of 108.
Wow. Well, I've got a theory because I saw some of your video that you posted on
What's
on
your
the
theory?
Facebook page. But wait, before we do, I want to let you know that this episode of the Golf Podcast is sponsored by Health IQ. Health IQ is an insurance company that helps health-conscious people like runners, cyclists, weightlifters, and vegetarians get lower rates on their life insurance. Healthier individuals deserve to get rewarded with more affordable insurance. So check out healthiq.com/Golficity to support the show and see if you qualify today. Mike, I think what's happening here, dude, I'll tell you, I've told you this before when I see, when we're in person, it's just like I said, like a pitcher who's just like not, hitting his spots, right? In baseball. Mm-hmm. And what they do, they start trying to steer it. I see looks like, I mean, you know what we can do is we can consult with, the Me and My Golf guys when we get them on the show in a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe send them the video of your swing. But to me, it looks like you're getting a little bit right hand heavy there. And as you're coming through, you're trying to steer it so much that you end up cutting across it. And that's why we're seeing that slice.
Yeah, I need help with that.
From like a natural swing standpoint, it looks like you're holding back. You're swinging fast and you're swinging hard, but you're holding back, and that it looks like that right hand is just kind of like putting the brakes on it because you're worried that you're going to slice, which is just working against you. And I think you're slicing a little bit there.
Dude, that is some epic advice right there.
Get
and that's why you're on the bag. That's why you are on the bag that week.
I'm going to be that way to talk you. I'm going to talk you to a 72 on
Please. That'd be awesome.
Wednesday.
You just need to keep me calm. And that was good advice. And you are not the first person to tell me that. I've heard those phrases from other people, just not, I don't think I'm committing to my swing at all. And you're right. I know that I'm
that's right. It's a good way to put it. It's not committing. Like I said, putting the brakes on it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And then what ends up happening, you come up across the ball like that. So I don't know, but we got some good stuff heading up to it. We got our putter fitting, which we're going to be doing soon.
Yes.
I think, talk about spots to shave strokes. If anything, go in, to Bay Hill with the right attitude there, the right putter.
Yeah, those 13 speed greens, that's no problem.
We throw you right to the wolves, right? It's gonna be trial by fire. Really early that morning. Trial by fire. Yeah, you're not.
That'll be a great lesson to learn playing that course in that condition. Now, we played PGA Tour courses right before the tournament, and we know the shape that they're in.
Yeah.
This is Florida golf. This is a little different.
It's gonna be an experience, that's for sure.
Not good on Bermuda.
Yeah. Okay, sure. I won't draft you in my fantasy team this year.
Yes, you got it.
But anyway, listen, I'm not going to take too much time here because I'm excited for this interview with Coach Rusty. I've got a lot of stuff that I want to ask him because
guy's a pro.
Yeah, dude. Seriously. I mean,
so good.
You watch every one of his videos and it's just like jaw on the floor. It's like, how
entertaining.
Did he do that?
I love this trick shot, craze going on. And he's one of the best out there. And, we flashed one of his videos on Golficity Live not too long ago. Amazing. I'm curious to just find out how long it takes him to do these things. Because I wouldn't have the patience to maybe do 3 or 4 attempts and that's it.
Right.
Knowing me. Mm-hmm.
He just posted one actually right before we went on the show just now. I kind of checked it out and it was like an hour or two ago on Instagram. He posted one. He's just like he said, it was like raw, just, he didn't cut it anyway. And it's just like amazing. just a quick shot. I think some of these he's probably really happy when he gets them on the first try. Saves him probably a lot of time. That's for sure. Other than that, a couple of quick updates for everybody. One, I know, and I appreciate everyone who brought to our attention the issues that we had with Spotify, where the podcast was not available or not playing on Spotify for a week or two. We did get in touch with the people at Spotify. We were able to get that fixed. So it was a silly little hiccup with something of however our audio files go out there. They weren't picking up them correctly. I don't know exactly what it was, but the good news is they were able to get that resolved. So we're back on Spotify. So check it out there. Also recently, we just added the podcast to Google Play. So anybody who's out there on an Android device, you may have been listening to us on maybe Spotify or even on SoundCloud, but now we have it on Google Play, Google Play Music. And the other thing that we're doing and we're going to be experimenting with, and I want to get your take on this. So by all means, leave us your feedback in the Facebook group, in the comments on these videos. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to try to roll out a little bit more of a video portion of the podcast. Something we used to do, but we kind of got away from it. And now we want to get back to it a little bit. We've got a little better method of doing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to record as much of the video as we can as we do these podcasts, and we're going to add those to our YouTube channel. We're really focusing on growing that channel because we've had a lot of people requesting more from that video standpoint. So we're going to be putting more of the podcast episodes on YouTube so you can get that visual aspect of it. It's good too for Mike because sometimes we'll reference something, we want to show it, and you have no way of doing that from an all audio standpoint. So we're trying to add that little piece in. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/Golficity, hit that subscribe button. In addition to our vlogs and everything else, we're going to start throwing the video podcasts there. So that's where you're going to be able to grab that. Also, obviously, all of that will be on Golficity as well. And the other big thing, I hate to keep teasing you guys because we're so close, but the app is coming very soon. I would hope within a couple of days of when this episode drops, but you'll be able to get all the audio and video in one place. So you're going to see it there. It's going to, basically just going to have the YouTube just embedded right into the app, so that you can see it there. But we'll make sure everybody knows about it. It's like silly, like little things that just take time to get these things rolled out. Like other than the development and all that tweaks. I mean, I spent an entire day today working with the development team on just getting these notifications to work the way we wanted them to. So we're getting there, but then there's other little things like getting it submitted to Apple and getting it submitted to Google and whatever it needs to be to be listed on the different app stores. So little things that we're piecing our way through, but it is coming soon. So stay tuned. Look forward to that. But that's all I got. I want to get into this interview. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to talk to him. Let's do a quick word from our sponsor, and then we're going to roll right into it. So once again, we want to thank Health IQ for sponsoring this episode. Guys, let me educate you on Health IQ because prior to this, I didn't even know they existed, and now I'm loving taking advantage of their discounted life insurance rates. Health IQ uses science and data to secure lower rates on life insurance for health-conscious people, including runners, cyclists, weight trainers, vegans, you name it. And talk about savings. Mike, 56% of Health IQ customers save between 4 and 43% on their life insurance, and these savings, they're exclusive to Health IQ.
Yeah, and the reason Health IQ saves their customers up to 33% is because physically active people have a 56% lower risk of heart disease, a 20% lower risk of cancer, and a 58% lower risk of diabetes when compared to people who are inactive. So think of it like saving money on your car insurance for being a good driver. Health IQ will save you money on your life insurance for living a health-conscious lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely. So learn more, get your free quote at healthiq.com/Golficity. All right, so this is really cool, real honor. We've got Coach Rusty, Ryan Ruston on the phone here. Ryan, welcome to the show.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Good. It's so good to talk to you. So I obviously what I want to kind of get an idea of, and us, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners have been following along with your Instagram page for a long time. I mean, I think it's going like, about 3 years now with the trick shots?
Well, it's about like a year and 8 months I've been taking it seriously.
Gotcha. I was scrolling through it earlier today, and I think I don't know, I think it was 2015 was the first I saw some trick shots popping up on your feed. So you've been doing it a while.
That's the entry point, right?
The
there.
entry point.
I found the entry point. But what I want to know, and obviously most people, you have 68,000 Instagram followers, as of this recording. So most people know you the same way, we've known you in a lot of ways. It's for your killer trick shots, but take us back a little bit. Like, when did you first get into golf?
Okay. So I first got into golf. Before I could remember, my dad was a golfer. Mm-hmm. He was an identical triplet. They all loved golf. Well, unfortunately, one of my uncles died before I was born, so I never got to meet him. But my uncle and my dad loved golf. My cousin, my uncle's son, was actually born 9 days before me, so we grew up kind of like brothers, and we all just, that was our thing, going out to the course with our dads and going out, and it was our time to bond and have a great time. So that's how I got into it.
Did your father or his brother, did they play professionally, or was just avid golfers?
No, like extremely avid golfers, great golfers, right around scratch, but never did anything serious with it. It was just their drinking game, man.
Nah, I gotcha. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, scratch is pretty good for anybody. But so you learned a lot of the game from them.
Yeah, they didn't ever give us lessons. I guess they introduced us to the game at such a young age that it kind of just came natural to me. And they never forced it on us, but it was always just, it was great because growing up, I would see them in their best versions of themselves when they were on the course playing golf, and you could just see how happy they were when they were playing. And that's what kind of made me fall in love with the game, was just seeing how it could have such a positive impact on someone's life. So.
Gotcha. And so from that young age and, picking it up and enjoying it, did you feel like that this was a possible career path for you down the line, or what, at that time, was it just something to have fun with, or what was your thinking there?
Yeah, so I never took golf seriously until like my senior year of high school. I grew up racing motocross with family. And I should say that I actually grew up with my mom and my stepfather. So I even cherished my time on the course with my dad even more then. But my stepdad was a race car driver, and we grew up in motorsports. And so until I got out of that, that's when I started wanting to take golf a little bit more seriously. I tried out for the high school team, didn't make it.
Wow.
It made me so mad. I shot like an 88 in my tryouts, and that was just like a horrible round. And so from that point on, it kind of motivated me to get a lot better. And just improve my game.
That's cool. But and interestingly enough, I read this somewhere. I don't remember where I came across one of your bios, but and I always find it interesting, like when paths like pivot, like your life path pivots. I read somewhere that you said, the best thing that ever happened to you is that you're not good enough at golf, because it kind of forced you to take a different path, because you had aspirations early on. I believe if this bio that I came across is correct, of making it on the PGA Tour, and as that didn't come to fruition, is that what kind of led into the trick shots?
Yeah, so of course everybody has the aspiration to make it on tour, right. And then I probably wrote that bio like as I was playing like little mini tour events, things like that, and that was the main goal. And then 6 months, a year into that, you start to realize, geez, these guys have mad skill. Like, it not only does it take extreme amounts of time, it takes a good financial backing as well to really break through that threshold. And I knew that I didn't have that raw talent that would push me far enough to get into a higher competitive level. So from there, I fell in love with teaching the game of golf and growing the game of golf. And
is that where the Coach Rusty name tag comes in? Okay.
Yeah, I ran the junior golf program for top 100 instructor Mitchell Spearman. I ran his 2 junior camps at 2 courses in Northern Virginia, and they ended up calling me always Coach Rusty. So that name comes from my junior students. So
gotcha. So now forever immortalized. And then
we were wondering if you were an actual coach. We were trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you still coach?
Yeah. So I just got back into coaching, I'd say about 6 months ago. I don't know if you're familiar with Gary Gilchrist. He's, for example, Lydia Ko's coach, Paula Kramer, works with a lot of tour players, and he's actually top 25 ranked in the world right now. And what we did was I actually have my agent, Charles, he developed an app called Swing by Swing, which is a golf GPS app, very popular. About 4 million subscribers, I think, on that app. And he developed an app called Swing University, and then it's basically an online instruction platform. And Gary Gilchrist is the face of it, and I am the lead instructor on that app now. So it's really awesome because throughout what I have going on with Coach Rusty and how I'm so busy and I'm traveling, I'm able to still teach golf on the go. And it's my way of just staying connected with the true roots of being Coach Rusty. So
that's really cool. That's, we've spoke with a lot of different golf coaches, on the show here. And that, I think, is one of the biggest changes we've seen over the last, maybe it's even just 5 years, how much you're able to reach outside of your just local area. We had some guys who say, yeah, they travel around, spend some time in Arizona when it's cold, and then, they have a clinic that they did down there or whatever. But now, I'm seeing guys who are coaching over FaceTime, and they're able to just meet up with students everywhere. It's a really, really cool new way of bringing teaching around the world.
Yeah. I've seen, Skype lessons and things like that. Swingy is awesome because it's golf lessons on demand. Basically, we have a system set up to where you can send in a face on down the line view. I can analyze it, let you know kind of what's going on in your swing, what we need to work on. And then on top of that, since we have Gary Gilchrist, we filmed about 500 videos. So we have a 500 video drill library. And each drill is specific to one certain swing flaw or one thing that, you could improve your game on. So if I find your flaw in your analysis, I apply that drill for you. And then, we work on a step-by-step process from start to finish on that golf swing. So
that's cool. And right there through that app, they're able to, as you said, send that video and you can track their progress.
Yes. Yeah. So we guarantee a next day response from our team. And yeah, every lesson is stored in the library. All their swings are stored in the library, so you can see exactly what they've been working on and where they started to where they are now. It's pretty awesome.
I like that for two reasons. One, as golfers, we're never patient. That 24-hour response is great because when you're playing bad, man, you want an answer quick. That's awesome. And then the other big thing is I find that what gets frustrating sometimes with lessons is or at least a face-to-face lesson. Sometimes I feel like I'm in such a panic to remember everything that I heard in that hour and not forget anything. So I like that you're able to kind of go back to it.
Yeah, it's great. You can send in a lesson request every day. And what we try to do is, number one game killer when it comes to coaching is information overload. So it gives us the opportunity to have these small fine-tuned lessons, and we can work on a more step-by-step basis. And it's actually proven to be a really good learning tool and a really good game improver for amateurs all across the country, across the world, actually. So
that's really cool.
It's funny. We actually got a sneak peek. You and your buddies were out at a Swing U event down in Florida not too long ago, and I noticed you guys were covering the event with Gary. That seemed like a really awesome day. From start to finish. Of course, as your followers, we were kind of following along on the day. Frank and I were jealous because we were coming down the day later, and we just we saw you guys out there getting lessons, and then all of a sudden going out and playing. Of course, we're up here freezing in New York, and you guys are having a blast. But have you even recovered from that week or those weeks you've been away traveling so far?
Yeah, I think about 2 or 3 days ago, I got 2 days ago, I think I got back to my normal self. It was. It was a little wild.
Did you hit the waste management? You were there, right?
So I was there. I actually flew out there to do a live trick shot show at Top Golf for Coca Puma.
Saw that.
Yeah, and that was a great opportunity. I was supposed to stay till Friday. I ended up shortening my trip to Wednesday just because I didn't want to get involved with waste personally. I went last year, and I know the path I would have gone down had I stayed. So I figured let's just go home.
Yeah, you know what? And what's cool is I kind of followed you along on that path, even if you being in, I think it was a Home Depot or something. Picking out supplies for this. What goes through your head when it's time to design a trick shot routine for a Cobra Puma with Blair O'Neill and Bryson DeChambeau and things like that? Are you thinking all night or what's going on?
Okay, so they gave me that opportunity a week before the actual show.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I have a great trick shot show. I've got a solo trick shot show that's either 30 minutes or an hour. I can do it on a driving range. I can do it on a tee box, a place with space. And with that, I need about an hour of setup time. And, so live shows I've done, I think about 8 of them now. I'm just breaking into that. Mm-hmm. And that's really my passion as of late. But, I'm pretty comfortable with my show. Now, when you're going to do a show at Topgolf, you're within a 7x5 box.
Yep.
And you can't set anything up. I've got those concrete slabs I use for a lot of my tricks. I was setting them on the floor. They slide because it's a tile or like a ceramic floor. So I had to duct tape the floors and rig it. So I was in Home Depot that morning and I was like, all right, I'm going to get all the supplies that I think I need and then some. And then I'm going to I played in the Golf Gods golf ball event that day.
Yep.
And I ended up getting to the course. You were supposed to be there at 11:30 for the tournament. I got there at, I think, 8 o'clock, and I went out on the range and I just put together the live show that was after that tournament that night. I put it together in like 20 minutes, and I was like, all right, let's see what we make happen. But we pulled it off, and it wasn't the most action-packed show. Didn't get to do like a lot of my jaw-dropping tricks, but definitely went really well, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to know what the pressure is like doing though. I mean, I'm a musician. I get up in front of people and I play guitar and I mess up. Sometimes people don't even know I mess up, but only I do. But when it comes to like golf trick shots, I mean, you drop the ball. I mean, like, how does it work? I mean, I see these things on Instagram. They're dope. The one you just posted with the backspin, I watched it like 100 times. Amazing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, the pressure's got to be there, right?
So there's definitely pressure. I mean, it almost reminds me of back when I raced motocross, when you're on the starting gate and that gate's about to drop and everybody's holding that clutch in and revving up their RPMs. You feel like you're going to puke.
Yeah.
And then once the gate drops, it's just another day out on the track. And that's what I kind of relate this to when I go to do these shows, because I really haven't been in a situation where I felt that much pressure before in a long time. And that's part of the reason why I love it. But, I've designed my show that it starts small and it progresses and progresses and progresses and gets bigger and bigger and bigger towards the end. And, you can't do a live show that consists of primarily juggling. People get bored with it. And also, juggling is the hardest part of all these golf trick shots. It takes the most finesse and the most skill. I think it's the most unrecognized part of trick shots these days. But, so I do a little bit of juggling, then I start hitting the ball out of the air, then I start combining juggling, hitting out of the air. I start bringing in some props. I bring in that Indo board, which everybody loves when I'm on the balance board. So I've got a lot of shots that I can pretty much get first try. And, if you don't, it's okay. You just got to keep the energy up. You got to kind of, bash on yourself a little bit, talk a little crap like about yourself. Show and just kind of get the crowd laughing at you and be able to take that,
Yeah, so that's cool.
It's really fun. And then the cool part is, getting some people out and trying these tricks that you're doing, so if I whiff a drive and someone laughs, I'll find that person in the crowd and give them the driver and say, all right, come try.
Exactly.
Driver or what, so it's a lot of fun. It's a good time.
Well, that's it. Great. I mean, the credibility is already there. If anybody's following you on Instagram, they see what you're capable of. But, I mean, speaking of which, some of the stuff aside from the live, some of the videos that you've posted throughout the years, I'm interested. I kind of know what a couple of my favorites are, but I'm kind of interested to know, do you have a favorite, a favorite video that you posted? And is there a reason why it's your favorite?
I definitely have a couple. Let me pull up my videos here. So I think that my most skilled video I ever did was where I'm in the inside baseball facility, and I have a little slab about 20 feet in front of me, and I've got 2 balls sitting next to me with a 4-iron, and I hit a chip shot with the first ball. It hits the slab and pops up. Then I take, and while that ball is in the midair, I snipe it out of the air with the other golf ball.
Oh, man.
That one's definitely the most... I firmly believe it's arguably one of the most accurate golf shots that I've ever seen, aside from what you can see on these guys on the PGA Tour. But, I mean, hitting a golf ball out of the air with another golf ball is pretty wild.
Yeah, it is.
That one was awesome. I'd say drifting the cart hitting the ball.
Yeah.
I love that one just because the concept is so cool. It was so off-brand.
Love it. I'm watching that now.
And it's just so off-brand. It's not something you would expect from me, and that's why I did so well.
So you get to kind of just unleash the creativity sometimes, right? You just like kind of dream these ideas up and then go out and see if you can pull it off.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they just click. For example, I was going to the course one day and I'm sitting in my car and I'm trying to think of a good juggle video on the green. And while I'm sitting there, I've got the fidget spinner in my hand and I'm just sitting there spinning the thing. And then I dropped it and the casing for the middle part where you hold it fell off, and I realized it's just a bearing. And I was like, I should stick a shaft in there and make a fidget putter, because this is when they were going viral. Yep. So I go up the back of my car. I found a junior golf club. I take it and I smash it on the concrete so the head comes flying off, and I just stuck the shaft in there. I went from out of my car into my trunk, made the fidget putter, went and drained the putt, and posted it within 15 minutes, and it was one of my most viral videos ever.
Dude, I'm looking at this, 311,000 views.
Yeah, that's just on my page. I think that video got about 17 million views across the board.
With all the reposts, right? Yeah.
So
that's insane.
It was actually on, I believe it's on MTV Ridiculousness. It was been on there a couple times, which is cool, but...
So that was a good one that just kind of came together. What's the other side? Has any of these taken you just like a ridiculously long amount of time? Like at the end, you're just like so glad that it's done.
All right. So if you scroll, this is before I had like the mad skills, but if you scroll down to the June 3rd area, 2016, there's a video of me in my lab where I used to give indoor golf instruction on poor weather days. And that's where I learned how to juggle. That's where I learned how to do these trick shots. And there's this video of me in there in a button up, and I'm doing this trick where I like throw it underneath my leg and flip it and then catch it on the shaft and hit it off the grip. It's one of the most gnarly tricks that's ever been done. And I've never done it again to this point, but I was trying to throw that juggle routine and hit it out of the air. And you can see in the video how stiff I am and how I didn't have that coordination there yet. But anyways, I started that video at 9 p.m. in my lab after I got done with golf lessons, and I ended up sticking that video. That video was filmed at, I think, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
It didn't quit. And I say that's probably that feeling. That was the first time I got that feeling of just, wow, like I just did that. And that was the moment when I decided I really wanted to take this to the next level and start creating new tricks. And that was the first time I created a trick right there. So I'm looking, you got the blue button up, white hat, you're in. Yeah. And like I said, not by any means one of my better videos, probably one of my worst, but it was early on. And it was the first time I invented a trick.
I gotcha.
Which was the under the leg flip. And I hit the ball out of the air and then it bounces back and I catch it and I give it the fist bump. And that was the first time I had that feeling of just raw success.
And it's so amazing for it to go from that, like you said, just in your lab, just experimenting with that. And then where it's kind of blossomed to now. I mean, with the travel, like you said, the live shows, the people that you've met. I mean, did you ever imagine that it was going to get to that point? No, never. I mean, I got into it because of first I was bored on the range when I was teaching golf, and I started juggling, and everyone loves juggling the ball. Yeah. It's fun, and everyone wants to be able to do it the most, and it was a competitive thing. And then I saw a video of a guy online doing it, Romain Bachu, and he's in France, I believe, or something. Anyways, he's amazing. And I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I wanted to learn all his tricks. Next thing you know, I know how to do them all. And next thing you know, I'm creating them. Next thing you know, I've got my first opportunity to do a branded deal. Then I'm doing, live shows. And I can't believe all of the opportunities that I've been given because of this. It's absolutely wild. Yeah, and some of the best brands too. I mean, Under Armour, Cobra, Puma. It's so cool that you're able to work with these guys, you know, from doing something you love.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've gotten to work with so many great brands and huge household names and athletes and I've met my best friend hole-in-one trick shots through this. You know, I went to his wedding, and I honestly feel like he's a part of my family, and I feel as if I'm a part of his. And you know, Tanya Teray, I feel like she's my sister, and you know, the community we've built through this, and you know, all the opportunities we're all receiving because of it, and the feedback we're getting, the positive feedback we're getting from the golf community on the whole is just really amazing.
That's so cool. So I know you said like right now your passion is the live shows. You know, what's on the horizon looking forward? Where are you looking to take this thing?
Yeah, so definitely live shows. I want to be doing, you know, 4 a month. I want to be doing four every month. Traveling is also something I've wanted to do with my life, and I've never had the opportunity or the money to really go travel and see the world. And it's just so awesome that this is allowing me to do so. At the end of this month, Kaylee and I are going to Grey Goose is flying us out to Bermuda for the Grey Goose World Par 3 Challenge, and I'm going to be doing some trick shots over there, and I'm going to be playing in the World Par 3 Pro-Am, and you know, just little opportunities like that. I want to travel. I want to go film content in exotic places.
So do I.
Keep practicing that guitar, Mike.
Yeah. Like where I see it going is live shows, filming content in beautiful places, but then also trying to, you know, get bigger sponsors so I can get a financial backing to do some of the bigger production ideas I have.
Right.
I'd love to tell you about them, but I can't because unfortunately there are people out there that have the funding to go do these things. But I do have, you know, a ton of amazing ideas that would just shatter the internet, provided I get the opportunity to do it. So,
where is home for you?
Well, home where I grew up is Loudoun County, Virginia, Northern Virginia. Now Kaylee and I moved down. Kaylee's my girlfriend. We moved down to Port Charlotte, Florida for this year. We got a really good deal on just a little rental house, 3-bedroom house, and I'm able to get outside year round and make some content and kind of, you know, work on my craft.
Well, listen, I know your buddy Josh, Hole-in-One Trick Shots. He's a Jersey guy. I just found that out today, and that's where we're located. So if you ever make it up here,
we're in Jersey.
We're up in the northern part, like right outside of New York City.
Okay, so he works right up there.
Oh, actually. Wow.
He works in the rail yard for, I think, companies like Dimec Rail or something. But he works right on the rail yards right up there just south of the city.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But he's in Eglinton Township.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's some great courses down there, and I'm sure like by the Atlantic City area. And if you're ever up here with him, I'd love to do a 2 versus 2, me and Frank versus the trick shot guys. We'll vlog the whole thing.
We're going to need a lot of strokes, dude. We're going to need a lot of strokes.
Hey, we'll come with handicaps.
Hey, that works for me, man.
I would love to learn how to juggle the ball. That's all.
Hey, I mean, I think tutorial videos might be in the future, for sure.
Cool.
Okay. I thought about opening up a little trick shot section for the Swing U app, you know, something like that.
That's cool.
But yeah, we can make it happen for sure.
Awesome. I love it.
Dude, we're going to be pulling for you hard because I want to see you break the internet.
I definitely, dude, I love breaking the internet. Nothing feels better than that. So
that is the best.
I appreciate the support.
Absolutely. So where can our listeners find out a little bit more about you? I mean, I imagine they're pretty much all following you on Instagram already, but is there anything else new that you want them to check out?
You know, I mean, I think Instagram's where you can really get the best idea of who I am as a person. I kind of lay out who I am as a person through my videos and through my stories. If you want to follow me on Facebook, I think it's Coach Rusty on there as well. No underscore.
Yep.
I have a little page there. I don't really post that often there, but other than that, you know, just keep following the journey. We'll see where it goes. If you want to get a golf lesson from me, download the Swing University app. I'd be happy to help you improve your game. Anybody out there listening that has a wicked slice or something like that, but yeah, that's about it. Just doing my thing.
That's awesome.
That's great stuff. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to us because, like I said, I mean, we've been following you for so long, and it's just so great to finally, we bumped into each other just very briefly at the show, and it was such a whirlwind that Mike and I, unfortunately, were only there for about 24 hours. I know you were there for most of the week. We're going to try to make it down more time next year, but it was just like so glad that we did bump into each other and get a chance to finally connect and talk, because I love hearing the story. I love what you're doing, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll be rooting along. Hey,
thank you so much. Definitely honored to be a part of the show. Really appreciate your guys' time as well. It's awesome meeting you. Definitely gonna have to get a round of golf going together sometime soon. If you're ever down in Florida, let me know. Southwest Florida, I got a house, I got a room. We could play some free golf over at my home course and tear it up. So let me know.
Dude, it's 20 degrees here. So you're really, and we got 4 inches of snow coming tomorrow. So you're really tempting me.
Come on down, man. Come on down.
Cool.
That'd be great.
All right. Great chatting with you. Appreciate you coming on the show.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good one.
You too, Ryan. Thanks.
Later.
All right, Mike. So I would say that, and I think you're probably going to feel the same way, but one of my favorite things in general about the podcast and about just being in this golf industry is that I'm never cease to be impressed with how cool and down to earth other people are who are in the industry. You know what I mean? It's not like, we don't run into people that are, I feel like I haven't run into anyone that it surprised me that they were like standoffish or anything like that. Instead, I'm constantly surprised even in the other direction. It's just how nice, how cool people are. I mean, Coach Rusty, Ryan, we're legit fans. We've been enjoying his stuff, following him on Instagram forever. We talked about it in the interview, and then we just bump into him at the PGA show, and he's just like, the first thing he says is like, guys, I got to get on the podcast. And I'm like, yeah, man, and then we just start chatting, and then you can hear it, in the interview, how down to earth, how cool this guy is. I mean, he's got a lot of great things going on right now. And, that type of thing, you feel like could very easily go to your head. So when you meet someone who's as down to earth as that, and it is just as grounded and approachable as that kind of like just makes my day in a lot of ways. Yeah. So I like that. Just getting the chance to talk to him and just find out a little bit more about it. And I loved hearing his story, right?
I loved it. What a down to earth dude. Had a lot of fun talking to him. And I think that would be an epic battle. The golf podcast versus the trick shot gods.
Yeah.
When
they give us 20 strokes aside. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. We'll play with handicaps, but we'll do a little Jersey thing. It'll be fun. But hey, listen, it was great having him. Like you said, huge fan. This trick shot craze thing is awesome. I love watching him. Like I just told him, he just posted one tonight. Really cool stuff. If you don't follow him, check him out. It's so cool. It's entertaining. And let me tell you something. There is kind of like a love-hate with trick shots, Frank. People will see him and be like, oh, another trick shot. But guess what? They can't not watch it 5 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's just that cool and entertaining. And it's just fast action, quick 15-second content that just drives us nuts. I love it.
Yep. And if you want to find him on Instagram, if you're not already following him, just search Coach Rusty. He's the verified account with a little blue check mark. You'll see him in a second. And I, not just his posts, I like watching his stories because he gives you that kind of like that behind the scenes, and you get to check that out. So really great stuff. And the other thing that I think is really important to take away from this, and it's inspiring in a lot of ways, is it just shows you in this kind of new world, this new media where you can reach so many people. And look, here's a guy who's, he's got Grey Goose, as he said, flying him into a par 3 contest and doing his, working with these biggest brands. Just, before, in order to do that, in order to reach that many people, you had to have like some sort of and be on television or whatever. Now here, like he just shows you with like that dedication and that grit. Like he talked about putting in like, what was it? 7 straight hours through the middle of the night working on his trick shot just to post it on Instagram, and then just see what happens from there. And then just like kind of all took off. It's just inspiring to me to realize that there are these outlets, there are these ways, if you're talented, that you can kind of get your talent out there. And likewise, it shows you that there's more ways. If you love the game of golf, there's more ways to make that, your living, so to speak, than just playing professionally. you see that like with the trick shots that he's doing, but also with the other stuff he's doing, like with Swing University, and being able to work with people all over the country because we've got like this unbelievable device in our pocket that allows us to connect with the rest of the world, So I'm always enamored with that. I always think that's cool. And when I hear those stories, I always want to know a little bit more about them.
I'm telling you, I think it's time we start up Trick Shot Mike. We get him going. This could be a whole new thing.
Did we do that in one of the vlogs we showed?
It was horrible.
It was so bad.
I tried to put the ball in my pocket over my shoulder. It's not for me.
No, that's we'll leave the trick shots to Ryan.
Yeah, to the pros. You got it.
But anyway, that's everything we have. Like you said, you can get to the show notes by going to golficity.com/episode 205. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on iTunes, SoundCloud, on Google Play, and on Spotify now if you're listening on any of those platforms, because if you're subscribed, you're going to be the first to hear it, because you're going to get those notifications when the new episodes drop. And you're definitely going to want to do that because we've got some great interviews coming up. As we said, coming out of that PGA show, we were able to finally meet face to face with a lot of the people that we've been dying to get on the show. And it's when you get face to face, it's so much easier to connect and just to get stuff done. So we're like, all right, let's get you on the show. And we just loaded up our schedule with a lot of great interviews. So we're bringing you guys a lot of the voices that you wanted to hear. So subscribe and you'll be able to follow along with that. Thanks again for listening. Thanks, Coach Rusty, for taking the time to talk to us, and we'll see everybody again soon.